In 1994, Chinese Progressive Association established a special program, Chinese Youth Initiative. Its mission is to develop and involve youth leadership. Chen is one of the students decades ago. She never expected that one day she will become the director of the association's drive for more legal rights for the Chinese community.
So I only became the co-director recently, but I have been involved in CPA for many years, actually since I was in high school. I actually didn't live in Chinatown, but I spent a lot of time in Chinatown, and that's where I identify as my community. So I did a lot of, sports and community activities in Chinatown since I was 17. So it's been almost 20 years.
At first, it's just a coincidence for her to get involved with the youth program.
So actually, I used to play volleyball at the YMCA in Chinatown, and this is before the Wang YMCA. This is when they were the bubble. Now it's actually a public parcel called Parcel R1, and I used to play volleyball there, and CPA staff went by to pass out to publicize their program. So I grabbed one of the applications and applied for the program. So I got into the summer internship, and I learned a lot about Chinatown, because people probably normally see Chinatown as a place where you go for grocery, where you go for dim sum, in the restaurants. But actually, there's a lot of residents in Chinatown. And also there's also a rich history in Chinatown, not just, cultural, but also, community struggle over, land use, community infighting, institutional expansion, the urban renewal, building the highways that, chop off some buildings of Chinatown. So after I learned a lot about it, I feel like, because Chinatown plays such a critical role in the Chinese community, we all need to do our part so that we can protect Chinatown, and because it's an important part of the community.
Karen still can remember what she did as an intern at that time. For her, it's a great memory as a high school student.
So for a summer, the first half of the summer is learning about Chinese American history, and then also Chinese American history, particularly in Chinatown. And so at the end of the program, we had a project, and my project was to document some of the different significant, community space in Chinatown. So I went around, it's just kind of like a photo journal of Chinatown. So I went to different, there was sort of a map of Chinatown, and I took pictures of different sites. So because of that project, I actually know all the street names in Chinatown really well. So I think that was like my kind of first, way, or first time I really, kind of get to know the community really well. I kind of identify, community, not just as, business or commercial, but really this residential, recreational, and all of that. And one of the things that I find, with my project was actually being a young person, there's not a lot of recreational space in Chinatown.
For many people living in Chinatown, their struggle for better life, and Karen became the one who support those in need.
So I went to school for sociology and psychology. I wasn't really sure what exactly I wanted to do, but definitely my involvement in the community while, at CPA particularly, while I was in high school and college, really made me feel like, there's something that I can do for the community. And also I think that as I learn about Chinese American history, some of the things that I can enjoy, right? For example, I have, a scholarship to go to college, and that wasn't always available for students who are, people of color and, in the city. And I think it wasn't just me, working hard, fighting for that, but it's kind of more like, community at large actually fought for a lot of those things so that I can, have access to. So I think in some ways it's a way for me to give back. And also, for me, because I came here as an immigrant, I know what the experience is like and how tough things can be. And I feel like because I have the opportunity of having a college education and the fact that I'm bilingual, I can help make, other people's lives a little easier. And along the way, I also realized that, well, some of the problems that people face, it's not accidental. Actually, there's systematic issues that we need to address in order for people to, be able to have like better lives. So, our mission is to improve, working, Chinese Americans, living and working condition. And there's a lot of things that we have to do in order to kind of achieve that goal. And really, a lot of people always feel like, oh yeah, I can't participate in things because I don't speak English, right? But I think it's more than that. I think it's more than just the language skills, but it also understanding kind of, the different systems that we live in, and having, a voice, and also having a space to really, gather the wisdom of the people in the community, like the residents whose lives, are impacted by, policies or decision makers, and we ought to play a role.
For Karen, her career strive for more legal rights is not stopping. She is always positive about improving the situation. She believes what she's doing could be very meaningful for the residents in the community. For Emerson College, I'm Xinxin Yan.